All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next run will be underway shortly. Just gotta wait on our boy Tylox to start up the stream and arrive in the Discord. It is currently 8:51 p.m. We've been at it for, let's see how long Twitch says, 13 hours and 19 minutes. And if Deku is commentating, then we will have him in the chat, or Deku, however you care to pronounce the word that was made famous in Ocarina. Oh, that's some opponent glitch right there. That's some opponent clip. Worst. Was it? What game? They were after Ocarina, though. Yeah, I'm like 90% sure they were after Ocarina. But we will double check. Okay, so it was Ocarina, then Majora's, then the Oracles. Oracles were 01. Yeah, the Game Boy Color, like all the Game Boys, all the handhelds lasted a ridiculous amount of time. Alright, let's get everything ready here. I will hop into the discard.
Welcome.
Also, I should probably turn on my microphone on XSplit. Fortunately, I know exactly when to start the timer for this one.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I would say I play this game, or like I almost played this game at one point.
Almost.
Yeah, there's when you're talking either 80% or hundo, there's kind of a choke up bottleneck around the time like before lake bed, where there's just hard trick after hard trick.
Sorry, is it on your list of still learning?
Yeah, it's on my list of still learning, but it's also on my list of I'm gonna come back to it eventually, which means a bunch of new games are come out and I'm gonna forget about it. But yeah, like I got Epona Clip down almost flawless, but then I got to KB2 was where I was really struggling, and then for some reason I had trouble clipping into lake bed.
Oh, that'll get you.
After that, it's really like the run smooths out a fair amount once you get done with lake bed.
Yes, it does. Ready whenever. Tyloxs could still be in the channel so he can hear us.
Yeah, the problem is he'll hear us twice though. Or like we'll hear him twice.
Go. Alright.
Yeah, I'll wait till I receive it. I just gotta delete the file. Reset! Oh, we could have had a file name donation. Whoops. I don't think I get that, but that's a rough implication there.
Trash. Oh no. Oh, is this gonna be a blue roast? Blue? Blue? Oh.
Alright, we have started. So, welcome to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD, aka Rolling Simulator 2016. This is by far, I would say, my favorite game in the Zelda series, despite the fact that I will acknowledge it is not the best game in the Zelda series. It's just my favorite. It's the one that came out when I was a preteen/teenager. That tends to be everybody's favorite Zelda game.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody heard that in the background. My neighbor's here with me now. He says, it's my favorite Zelda game because I'm a furry. I don't know, though. Breath of the Wild, you got stiff competition. You got fishies. You got birds. You got Big Cass. I can't not call him Big Cass because, you know.
So that rock right there that he just passed, he can get 5 rupees.
Oh, he got a good RNG
really
off that bush, though, when he walked over it.
And the good thing about this game, you can skip every cutscene.
Yeah, the HD remakes of the Zeldas tend to have some pretty good stuff in them. I might be in the minority here. I much prefer the 3D versions of Ocarina and Majora's to their originals, especially in terms of speedrunning.
He also got really good rupee RNG, so that means he doesn't have to get any of the 3 other rupees that you're supposed to get. And here's the best part about this whole run. Goats. Never go wrong. Deku goats.
Yep, between the goats and the rupee RNG, he's had a pretty good start. You sound like you might be a little bit behind me. Are you watching my stream or are you watching his raw stream?
Oh, I'm watching yours, I guess.
You might want to watch his raw stream just because that way you'll be a little more caught up.
Oh, shit.
Like, yeah, right now he's just jumping off the ladder from his house, rolling back into town. So.
Oh, holy shit! All right.
I'm a tad bit ahead. I'm at 2:30 in the run now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Anyways, so this little area is like this for a couple reasons. It serves as sort of an intro tutorial to the game, like the mechanics and such, because this was also the first Zelda game to end up on the Wii, so it was the first one that ended up having motion controls. Granted, this version is based off of the GameCube version, aka the superior version. But another aspect about why this little town is like this and why it's kind of such a hard brick at the start of the game is this is almost untouched from when it was an E3 demo that people had to line up and wait for several hours to play. Anyways, he's rescued the cradle here, going to bring it back to this mother and exchange it for a fishing rod because we're still old school Zelda.
Oh, he threw the baby.
Yeah, you just launched that thing. You don't have to care.
RNG manips.
Fishing rod confirmed. It's really bendy. I don't know if I would trust a fishing rod that looks like that. Then he does some casual parkour to get onto the roof. There's 20 more rupees back here. Because you're trying to get the amount of money you need to buy a slingshot. So depending on your RNG earlier on, you may have to go get some other rupees and that'll take up more time. Now, people who are pushing for records at that point, they just reset. But in this mode, when you're doing it as a marathon, it really doesn't matter that much. It's only like about a minute loss at absolute max. Now, he doesn't get the fish on the first hook, so he's got to try again. You just wait. It's a Zelda fishing game. You wait to see it bob, and then you pull it. But right now, he's having some terrible RNG. He's had to go for it 3 times now. They're just not biting today. Maybe if you put some bait on your hook, you know. I wouldn't know a fish dumb enough to just bite the hook itself. But in survival situations, you do what you got to do, you know. All right, finally got a fish on.
Fast fish.
11-inch green gill. If you guessed 11 inches, congratulations. You something is very wrong with you. Now, I do like that the textures are updated, but the polygons remain mostly the same on things like this cat. So, he still looks pretty made of bricks. So now we get told how great this woman's cat is despite you doing all the work. And then she proceeds to scold you for buying a children's toy. Much like all of our parents when we told them we play video games really fast for charity. Well, that's because you don't go fast.
Sometimes you can accidentally buy the milk there. Oh, that sucks. Done that.
You accidentally... Getting your run milked is just not the way to go. Yeah, this little tutorial section is not that bad, but it can serve, especially in TPSD, as like a bit of a barrier to entry. Because people don't want to have to go through that every single run.
So you want to make sure you roll past those kids so you can get the sword before you do the tutorial. If not, you're gonna have to watch some more cutscenes if you do the tutorial before you get the sword.
And nobody likes more cutscenes. So you have this ornate treasure chest in your house just chilling there, specifically so you can put a wooden sword inside of it. Honestly, that treasure chest might be the most expensive thing in that entire village. Link is the 1%. How dare he?
So now you're going to see some quick scopes coming up.
Now, I remember when these games first started coming out on the Wii U, there was some debate over whether the gyroscope controls were going to be any good. But now I could think everybody who runs seriously can pretty much unequivocally say, like, they're very useful in terms of aiming quickly and accurately. I even know, like, despite how irritating it can be, most of the Splatoon pro community uses the gyro aim.
That was some fast mash.
Yeah, that was actually a really quick little sword demo.
Mashing in this game is a lot of time save if you do it fast. And also, when you roll, he does it frame perfectly, which also adds up to a lot of time save.
Yeah, that actually prompts some discussion, because the number one thing I like to bring up when people try to tell me that any speedrun that isn't glitchless is just cheating and doesn't count, because that's the opinion of a lot of people who don't actually speedrun, and therefore it doesn't matter. But this is the example I like to cite, because pretty much everybody assumes that if you roll in a Zelda game that has rolling, it's faster because it looks faster. We all just mashed and rolled everywhere as kids. And it stands to reason that an average player would eventually figure out that if you tap A at the right possible rhythm, you roll a little bit faster. However, that's a frame-perfect trick and probably not intended by the developers. Is that a glitch? Should that be disallowed and glitchless? Now, a smart person would say no, but, you know, the all glitches are evil people may have a differing opinion. And therefore, they are wrong and trash, just like this marathon.
Also, you can see you roll slower if you go up hills, but if you do it frame perfectly, you'll barely lose any speed.
Another thing to note, if you're not a speedrunner yourself or not familiar with Zelda games in particular, or games that have a lot of text boxes, mashing is different for every game. So, I actually don't know a lot about how mashing in TPHD goes, like what you can mash and what you can't mash.
Well, the good thing about this game is the R button, it works as A, so you can also roll and mash text with R. So most people use B, A, and R to mash the text. And they also use R to roll, or A, it's up to you.
If you play A Link Between Worlds, that's one of the better games as far as mashing is concerned, because all 4 of your face buttons count. So you can just kind of roll your thumb around on them and get pretty easy, quick mashing. However, that comes at the cost of you have to play with a circle pad. I'm almost tempted to go back in time to 2014 when Smash was only available on the 3DS and get one of those modded ones that supports a GameCube controller. Do you remember when people did that for 12 whole minutes?
Oh yeah. Good old days.
Because honestly, I feel like that would be better for the durability and the longevity of the console. Except the fact that if you got both the GameCube mod and the capture card mod, that thing's probably going to catch on fire. Especially if you got a Katsukitty mod like I do. Anyways, this is the site of the first dungeon. And here's the monkey that you have to rescue like 6 times. I'm pretty sure this monkey is actually just like the simian version of Princess Peach. Just like has a thing for getting kidnapped. Now this is one of the first easy things you learn how to do in the run that looks somewhat impressive. Is being able to bash both of those bokoblins with one single sword swipe. And then kind of do the jump forward into the spin to take out that cage. That's super easy to learn, but it looks neat.
Here's some more text mashing. Coming up is the next goat section, which is the worst one.
This is where runs die right here. This is reset. This is probably the most resetted upon split, definitely in Goron Mine's RTA, and probably in any percent as well. Like, if anything is in contention with this, it's probably Epona clip. Now, I believe in the Japanese version of this, it says get in, but instead of changing it to something that makes more sense, they just wrote goat in.
That was pretty good goat.
That was actually a very good goat, too. So, I would say Tylox is actually on pretty solid pace right now.
Yeah, only thing that was bad was the fish.
Yeah, the fish was indeed a struggle. The splits are good, but the run is bad, or so it was foretold. So now we just roll past some chickens, and we get scolded for not taking good care of our horse by people who really have no business telling us how to take care of our horse.
Alright, so this bitch wants his sword right now. Wants its wood.
And you literally cannot progress without giving this kid the wood, so you just gotta give it to him. Also, pretty much all of the people living in this village have some of the most 90s haircuts I've ever seen. Especially all the blonde characters. They all look like they should be drumming for Deep Blue something, or,
It does look like it. Alright. Coming up is a cutscene. Unfortunately, we did not get to watch it.
So basically, you decide not to save, and the game gets mad at you and turns you into a furry.
If you do this right, you can get the box. Oh, and he got it.
Yeah, so that
is
saves
really
like
hard.
a couple frames, but a couple frames add up over the long run.
The swag box.
Yeah, it's basically
actually
just to
got
show how good you are. And then you buffer. That's an important part of this run.
Yeah, I've never gotten that before. So, that is some good stuff.
So at this point we have Midna now, who is the greatest sidekick in the entire Zelda series, bar none. Mainly because most of the sidekicks are actually kind of trash. I don't think that's how it goes. I would sort Fi under controversial. Same with Tattle, honestly, whether or not you think Tattle or Navi is better. Because the thing about Navi is super annoying, but earnest and good intentioned. Tattle has a personality, but it's a shitty personality. Game is still SpongeBob. I'm really bad about changing these games. This does not look like SpongeBob. This is clearly Fairly Odd Parents. Social eating, yeah, that's all I ever do in my life. Take a... Oh, wait, you gotta do that voice. I forget how that guy sounds. I know he sounds like a bitch, but, you know. A double, triple bossy deluxe on a raft. 4x4 animal style. Extra shingles with a shimmy and a squeeze. Light axle grease, make it cry, burn it, and let it swim. We serve food here, sir. I will say that SpongeBob is probably the most quotable show of all time. So now we have a completely untrained wolf walking tightropes like it's actually nothing.
Alright, so you can hold inputs when you walk through there. If you'll skip a text box because he jumped before Midna was able to talk to him. That saves some seconds.
It's the little things that add up, and Goron Mine's RTA is, well, primarily it's for people who want to be able to actually do a run of this game every day of a week.
And also you get to do Goron Mines. You actually skip that in the any percent to run.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only category you'll ever play where you do Goron Mines. Because, you know, Hundo is deader than a brick.
Well,
so now these trumpet burbs are among some of the more annoying enemies in the game. If you mess up that section prior to there at all, they're going to start knocking you off the roof, and you're going to lose hella time. So here's where we would have met Zelda, and look, there she is. That's probably the only time you're going to see her this run. We saw Zelda, guys. It's over. And now suddenly we're back home. Everything's green. Midna's gone, except she's not. She's actually just tan. She spent too long in the tanning bed. Now she's extra crispy. So now there's this green boy. He's going to swing at you, but his reaction time is around that of a drunken piglet, so he's going to miss entirely. And now we got to go talk to some squirrels, talk to some cocks, and then spook some boys. Also a cat. I don't think you got to talk to the chicken, but the chicken has probably the funniest stuff to say out of any of the animals here. So you sneak up on these boys. And you listen to what they have to say, then you scare them away and they run.
Alright. He actually jumped into the water and it triggered the cutscene. Or he jumped off the edge. Just close enough to trigger the cutscene, which saves probably half a second maybe. And this shield jump here, a lot of people fail it. Bonk a lot for some reason. Don't know how.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's surprisingly easy to mess up, but it's also surprisingly easy to get right. It just doesn't make sense when you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Alright, so now he has to go get the sword. You might see a chicken coming up here. There he is.
Yeah, now that is the chicken. He is he's got some of the better dialogue amongst the animals. He just thinks he's hot shit. Like,
if you're lucky, he'll talk to him.
alright, so now we have some weaponry. It will last a reasonably short amount of time. Now you do have to dodge Russell, because otherwise he will dunk on you pretty hard. Because despite being injured, he does not play. And now we head on into arguably the worst part of Twilight Princess, the Tears of Light collection. But first we gotta come over here and kill some shield face dudes. Now these guys like to really loud and demand that normies get out, so if you want to spam monk ass in chat, that's cool. Exactly. Just like that.
Alright, so we're heading into the first Twilight.
Now
It's
we
nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah, we skipped the cutscene there, but it's actually pretty brutal. Midna just makes like this giant arm and just drags you in.
Oh yeah. There's nothing too much going on here. All you have to do is get the bugs.
Yeah, this is where you get the one of the better abilities in the game, but it comes at the cost of you having to fight through a stupid fight with a stupid cutscene. And some
He
more.
is.
This is the only guaranteed re of the game, so. Now, there's no way to avoid this one. It's just pre-programmed in. Shoutouts to the Deku. So ordinarily, you don't have to walk back to Midna. That's just the faster way of doing it. So basically, the rule of thumb with these guys is you can't leave only one. Because when there's only one, they get really lonely, and when they're lonely, they start browsing 4chan, and that just causes them to shriek to the sky.
And then they all get revived.
Yeah, so now you
we
talk
don't.
to these particles, and they give you a bunch of grapes. The grapes are empty. You gotta find some light to put in the grapes, because they're light grapes. It's basically white wine. Wolflink is a wino. So these bugs, the gimmick with them is you can't see them with your eyes. You have to detect them with your wolf sense. So basically
Don't mash
that,
A
yeah.
right here, because then you will jump right out. Alright, if you're fast enough here, you can skip the next cutscene. And he did not get it. If you turn off the sense, as soon as you hit those bugs, you'll skip that text box there. But it's very precise.
So this is called Goron Mines RTA because it's not a complete run of the game. It only finishes the second dungeon. So rather than calling it Goron Mine, like you could call it Goron Mines %, I guess. But that's a bit silly because it still implies that the game was finished, whereas this is more of a time trial just to finish the first 2 dungeons of the game.
So if you walk up on them like that, sneak up, they won't move away, so you can get them all in one hit without them spreading apart and me wasting time trying to hit the other one.
Yeah, I think you're a little tiny bit ahead of me, only like a second or 2.
Really?
Yeah, but now all this jumping looks super impressive, but you're primarily just pressing L and then A a few times.
I always struggle with these. They always split off on me, but let's see.
Yeah, if you can get both of these
There.
guys, you're pretty good.
He almost got
Alright,
him.
you got, there's 2, and 1, and he misses the second. Another thing to note about these guys in the actual full game, every time you fight them, there will be a portal that opens up, and then from there you can fast travel to that portal once you unlock fast travel. Which saves a lot of time, because otherwise you would be riding a horse, like, 24/7.
And we don't want that.
You know, that's what we really need. PUBG needs horses. You hear me, Player Unknown? I hope you do. Actually, if you hear me, I would really deeply question why you're watching a stream with 13 viewers. You should probably get back to developing PUBG. Anyway, you notice this monkey's freaking out again. She's not really held captive by anything, but she's just freaking out about the spiders. So, in general, I'm counting that as 2 times that monkey was held captive or otherwise useless.
You see him do a backflip when he spawned in, and he rolled a little backwards and to the right. That skips Xbox again. Saves, that one is quite a bit longer. I think it saves 3 or 5 seconds, something like that.
What I want to know is what the obsession is between, like, Japanese game devs and afros having birds' nests in them, or birds in general. because this guy has a bird's nest in his afro. The what's his name, Saz from Final Fantasy 13. He kept birds in his fro.
Alright, here comes the favorite part, the monkey.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is the point at which any runner of this game starts beating their head against the wall, because you're like, I just want to play the game. I don't want to do monkey escort missions. But no, you pull your lantern out, you start walking forward, and the monkey's like, hey yo, let me just take this real quick. Let me be less efficient than you at getting where I want to go.
So you're trying to push the monkey, which will, you can, if you do it right, you will save a cycle at the end, so he doesn't do another spin. And sometimes you see him spin longer than others. You want the short cycles.
And so you're trying to push him, you're also trying to kill the enemies before they get too close to him, because if an enemy is too close to the monkey stops making forward progress and instead just freaks out and cries. You see, like right there? He's still locked on, but the monkey had to take a second to freak out because there was a bat. As though bats aren't common in the wild here.
Alright, so he's gonna probably snipe this plant over here. Get him early on, then.
Yeah, there is a Deku Baba that spawns, but he's gotta be like, he's gotta poke his head up first, but now he's got him.
Alright, so now if he pushes him right, he can skip one of the cycles. He tries to walk back, and he skipped it.
Alright, so you also find out that the monkey has used all of your cell phone batteries, even though... Like, the monkey dropping this lantern is very much like when you're letting somebody use your charger, but then your phone's almost dead, and you're like, yo, let me get my charger back. And they're like, what percent are you on? Like, it's not your charger.
Alright, so the reason he hit those two bokoblins that he did not kill is to trigger the one that he just killed, makes him walk towards him.
Yeah, here's where we commit larceny. And the Bob Ross bird gets kind of upset, but I mean, there's nothing we can do. We need this lantern. Now you see the furry community does not take kindly to theft, especially not where original character copyright is concerned. And so this yellow dude pounced us. But it actually turns out to be Mr. Skeletal, who we should thank for teaching us dope new moves. So you jump strike him, and then he basically explains how and why you suck, and why you should listen to him.
And this is the only special ability you will get in this whole run, and also in any percent.
Yes, the only one required to finish the game. The rest of them are just super useful. But they're not fast.
Yeah, you actually need this ability to kill Ganon. So.
And most other bosses.
Alright. Time for the first dungeon. If you go fast, you can do a quick spin and kill the goblin at the same time. Monkey will climb some lines and then holler at you.
So you see, the monkey was deathly afraid of bats, but spiders apparently aren't a problem at all.
Nope, not at all.
He's not even in the least bit concerned about these spiders. Link, however, is like, nah, I'm not about that life. And snipes them before continuing to climb up. And if Link is not about the spider life, then he's really not going to enjoy this next room. Because there is a much larger spider. Now, there is a bit of a gimmick to killing him. You gotta kind of get the forward stab, and then once you've got him off his balance, you can finish him off. But if you're just typically standing there trying to fight him, he'll block most of your attacks with like his chitinous armor.
Yeah, and you also need to kill him. If not, the monkey will be too scared to actually allow you to jump the vines coming up here.
Yeah, so you want to go forward, but what happens is a big monkey comes out, throws a boomerang, slices the bridge down, and impedes your progress. So instead, you get salty and decide to go home. But you can't. Instead, you do amazing feats of gymnastics with this monkey who can apparently sling approximately 250 pounds of man and equipment across a gap, but is terrified to death of bats and plants. To be fair, that's a spooky plant, but you know. Now at this point we don't really need the monkey because we're kind of going outdoors. Because we have to come over here to get a key.
Alright, so all you needed from this room was the key right now, but you'll be back here later once you get the bangarang.
The boomerang is, despite its appearance, probably the single most busted item in this entire game.
Yes, it is. That's what all speedrunners look forward to. You can also just jump right past that spider. If you jump on the side, if you get too close, he'll just knock you right off. You'll have to go for a swim.
And it's kind of an inconvenient, right, what would you say, 10-second swim?
Yes. Actually, apparently there are some vines you could climb up that I did not know about, but I'm not sure where they are, so... Still, probably.
Alright, so this monkey's stuck on top of a totem pole, so completely lacking regard for his well-being. We just knock him off, let him fall 10 feet, and probably get a concussion against those wooden bars in the ground. But it's fine, he's still moving, so he can continue to play in the NFL.
Now he has to wait for the monkey. Problems of being too fast.
Yep, so now the monkeys show off their circus performance training and once again perform feats of inhuman and in-monkey strength. Now, ordinarily, the gimmick of this dungeon is you go around rescuing and collecting monkeys, and then the monkeys eventually form a super long monkey chain to help you swing to the final boss. However, we have a much better method of getting there, which will be revealed and explained shortly. But first, we have to go to the left.
And there was a bomb. Maybe it's RNG manips. Maybe it was a 1 second time loss.
Yeah, definitely the latter.
Alright, this is a very interesting part.
Yeah, this is the first part that's actually kind of hard and might make you question whether or not you really want to run this game. So what you end up doing is abusing Midna's talking feature to force the bridge to move. Oh, so he's fallen.
Yeah.
But basically, talking to Midna forces that bridge to turn early once you re-enter the room.
I think you're quite delayed. That happened like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, I am a little behind. Basically, the way this room works is you let the bridge kind of turn into you and clip into you, and you end up standing on the rail, and then from there you can kind of make your way across the bridges with a series of forward jumps and side jumps. You shouldn't be able to do this room yet because you're supposed to have to use the boomerang.
So he clipped into the bridge. Then he talks to Midna again to make it spin. Then you just jump attack onto the next one. Oh, and he did not make it.
Oh no, spoilers. Yeah, okay, so he jumps, and he doesn't even jump. That was the problem. So the thing is, to do that, you actually have to, you gotta walk forward far enough that you initiate the falling animation, and then you hit jump. So now he's kind of low on health, so he's got to hit some pots, regen some hearts, and it's only rupees. Now he's going to chop some grass. There is a heart for him, so he will continue on. Because getting a game over will set you back even further.
Alright, but this time he'll get it for sure.
Guaranteed. Because you can see into the future by a matter of approximately 10 seconds.
Alright,
Yep,
and
so
we
he's got the bridge clip. He talks to Midna. He's going to turn to the side again. He jumps forward, he jump attacks, he's on the next bridge. Now he's just got one more jump to go, and it's a sideways jump. You wait for the bridges to start turning. And when they're about crossed like that, you jump to the side, and congratulations, you are across far earlier than you're meant to be.
Now, time for Monkey. This has some RNG to it.
His name is Ook, by the way. That'll be important for a the name of a glitch later that is actually kind of hard to do. One of the hardest tricks in the game is just one of the least punishing if you don't know how to do it. You lose some time, but it's not like you can't progress in the run. As opposed, if you don't know how to do King Bubbling 2, for example, you're basically doomed in any percent, or opponent clip for that matter. And those are both very hard tricks. Oogless is extremely difficult, but if you don't get it, you've lost, what, at max 30 seconds?
40, 45.
45 seconds.
Yep.
So you stab this monkey in the butt enough times that he falls over, hits his head, gets a concussion, and has to go into NFL concussion protocol, thus missing the next 3 games.
Alright, I think we can read some donations.
We do have some donations because we have gone all the way up to $69. Someone has a great sense of humor. We have $15 from Diku that says Bonner. Thank you so much for that mature donation. Let's see if it went towards anything. Having a look at the challenges here.
I didn't fill out those. Oops.
No. Well, what do you want it to go to? Options are Tooth and Tail New Game Plus, the Mario Odyssey Scooter Chase. Deathtroff said he had the poncho and sombrero. Or there's $20 for the Mario Galaxy 2 Perfect Run.
I will do the one with the Deathtroff in it.
Well, no, he said he's already paying for that. So that's just one it's going to be on Blue's Run, but he says he's already going to pay for it.
Oh. Alright, well then the last one, the Perfect Galaxy Run.
Yeah, Perfect Galaxy Run. Alright, so that's $10 towards that, so we need 10 more to make that a reality.
Alright, well, back on track. So he got the boomerang. He did a save and quit, so he could spawn back at the beginning.
Which is a little faster than attempting to walk back there yourself. And it also regens your health, which you may need.
Indeed.
We show a distinct lack of concern for this spider as we continue rolling to the right.
Alright, so you can jump onto that pillar, or, wow, okay, that's some new strats there.
Oh,
okay.
We got new strats? I can't wait to see.
Oh, yeah, you're behind.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, usually I just kind of jump across the fence.
Yeah, you jump on. Normally you jump onto the pillar and then jump off onto the platform, but I guess you can do that. So that was the first use of the
one I
boomerang.
did not go across the pillar. It was just over the fence. But now he's got the big key. Now, the way that works and the way the entire, every single run of this game in any category is busted is via something called long jump attack. Basically, it abuses the way Link's lock-on system works. So you tell the boomerang to lock on to a given location and you throw it. Now, when it is inside a wall or above a void, basically anywhere where there's no collision, there's no ground beneath it, when you jump towards it with Link's jump attack, he'll go super far.
Oh yes. He's going to use that to skip having to get all the monkeys. saving a lot of time.
Yeah, so he's going to go over here to the right. Now, one thing to be concerned about, if you do mess this up, it's possible to kind of soft lock in this area and have to save and quit out and start over. Just because the collision of this tree is not intended for you to be on it, so it's easy to get stuck. However, he gets everything pretty easily. And goes to the boss fight. Ooklis.
Oh.
So, in this boss fight, the monkey boss that you just literally stabbed in the butt comes back to help you by giving you bombs, despite the fact that he's still suspended for 2 more games in the NFL season. But it's possible to actually skip him ever showing up and his cutscene if you save these little bomb bugs intentionally. Every time you hit them with a boomerang, it resets their little clock ticking before they explode. However, it's a lot of very precise bomb manipulation to get it to work. So the first 2 heads have been exploded and 2 bombs are still ticking. He's going to have to recover those with the boomerang to keep them ticking. Because now here's the actual boss.
Some parkour boomerang throwing bomb stuff going on right now.
Bigger boots! And he's got an eyeball in his mouth because of course he does. So now,
why not?
1 bomb gets thrown ahead and he targets that bomb. It's a successful explosion and he gets 1 bomb back. So it's looking correct right now.
Alright, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but he got it.
Yeah, that is a successful Ooklis despite the fact that he didn't get all of that 1 spin slash. So the monkey never comes out and never plays his cutscene, so that's 40 seconds saved. And now this giant plant with a eyeball in his mouth will wither, die, and explode in customary Zelda fashion. Also, apparently his heart is in his eyeball because, you know, anatomy just doesn't even need to be a thing.
You should refresh your stream so you're on the same level, or is that not going to work?
We can try it. I'll hit the reset player button.
Alright, where are you at?
The little Twilight shard is coming down.
Like he has in his hand? Midnight just came out?
Yep.
Alright, we're on track.
Alright, we are on the same spot. I probably got behind when I buffered. That was probably my internet, or at least Twitch in between us. So now he's skipping the heart because he's just a straight up G. He doesn't need it.
That's grabbing a heart probably loses 5 seconds or more. He did a side out there so you can save some frames before you actually talk to Midna. Unfortunately, you couldn't skip it, but at least we got a little bit ahead.
So I would like to point that there's like probably 6 phases in the life of a speedrunner. There's, dude, it's only 5 seconds. And there's, dude, it's like 5 whole seconds. And then there's, dude, it's only like half a second. And there's, dude, it's like half a whole second. There's, dude, it's only a couple frames. And then there's, dude, it's like more than 1 frame.
Alright.
So up next is Mailman Skip, and if you're subscribed to Thursday, if he screws this up, we have a lovely emote. And Thursday does not stream too often, but he does have probably the best Twilight Princess emotes.
It does look like he's gonna go for it, but in Garnmine's RTA, it's actually not needed, plus you'll have to come back here later to go past there, which will trigger him, unless there's been found a way to skip him again.
Well, that was a successful Mailman Skip. He's jumped over the trigger, so there's not going to be any hey! Instead, he will roll right into the shadowy black wall of evilness, aka the Twilight. And the best character ever, that should definitely be in a Smash Brothers, will pull him in, thus turning him back into a wolf. You hear me, Sakurai? Please.
Alright, another resident sleeper section.
Yep,
Wolf
time.
sections are the worst for me anyway.
Time to collect more grapes, and we got Tylox even in the chat saying there will be later and posting a picture of what I assume to be a penguin.
It's a bird.
It's a burb.
Bird.
So another feature of the wolf is that he can pick up the scents of various people he knows. However, like, if you already know where to go, that feature is entirely useless. He's accidentally activated the re.
Alright, so that's what happens when you don't kill them all three at the same time. They all get revived by the one that's still alive. And now he has to go get the bridge, which Minna will allow you to teleport to where the bridge is to get it.
And this is where you pick up the fast travel ability. However, you can still really only use it in wolf form until you find a method of getting into and out of that, which, spoiler alert, will not happen in this run.
Alright, so during this cutscene, if you hold A and the target button, you will actually skip some more text boxes. Because he will jump right out of it before she has time to actually talk to you. Saves another 5 seconds. Right here. Yeah. Originally there you would actually talk to Minna.
And that is a successful... I don't know if it has a name, but if it doesn't have a name, we'll call it Bork Skip. Because that's literally how you skip it. You just bork forward.
Indeed.
We'll call it Bork Skip and Hundo, if nothing else, because anybody currently running Hundo is the Hundo community. SVA doesn't run it anymore. Bouncy Boy definitely doesn't run it anymore. Thursday I've seen trying to run it recently, but all his runs always die in Lakebed for some reason.
Actually, Tylox is currently.
Yeah, I've seen him learning it. So yeah, if you want to see Hundo on this game, follow Tylox. This game does have a good Hundo run. It's just a really long Hundo run.
It is very long.
Not as long as Breath of the Wild, obviously, but still pretty long. So now we have more cutscenes. And this is the section where Wolf Link kind of moonlights as an arsonist. So skipping several cutscenes, we find out that the children are all kind of hiding out here with some people that have terrible hair.
And if you hold A during skipping this cutscene, he'll pick up the stick, saving a couple frames before he actually... Oh, he didn't do it. Wow. Alright. But yeah, if you hold A there, you can pick up the stick before the text box comes up. I don't think he did it. I didn't see it. Oh, am I behind now? Oh,
I think you're a little behind.
Shit, I looked at the wrong stream. I looked at the
strawberry stream.
Yep. Alright, well, back on track.
Yeah, that's the first 3 bugs successfully dealt with. And then we gotta kind of go through the left side of town to handle the next one. You're basically just going in and out of all these rundown buildings. This village is kind of run down in this game. Now, because the, like, until Breath of the Wild, Zelda games were never really fully voiced. So how a lot of these words are pronounced are kind of up for interpretation. Mainly the stresses, like I've heard Kakariko, I've heard Kakariko, Deku, Deku. Or if you're an immature little kid like me, Dookie Sticks.
Dookie sticks.
Yeah, and Dookie nuts.
Or if you're like me, Deku.
Alright, so there is a little bit of a trick he just did there that saves, like, what, less than a second, but still a decent amount of time. Kind of worked your way across the roofs.
Yep.
And that's probably the building you spend the single least amount of time in this game. If you don't count nothing as a valid value.
Coming up is the window break. I
Yep.
usually struggle with that.
We're just kind of continuing on our trend of vandalizing private property. In the name of extermination. We knock over someone's dresser drawer. And by coming up to the top there, you can pick it up as it spawns. Fun fact, I've encoded 12.91 gigabytes of pure stream today. And now we see these bugs going in here. I'm pretty sure in this game there's a way to kill that bug before he even gets in here, but it's a pretty precise and difficult input.
It's only viable for tasks. But in the original TP, you can do it, I believe.
Yep, so setting bomb workshops on fire is a good plan.
Just a part of vandalizing, just for a couple grapes.
But we have successfully blown up the building, and now we can collect our remaining grapes for the town. But there are still more grapes to collect up the mountain. Unfortunately, there's not as much to vandalize up there. Unfortunate Bork Bonk on the side. So there are 3 more grapes we need, and for that we're going to have to head up Death Mountain, because Death Mountain is one of those locations in Zelda that's always been there since the very beginning, but its name doesn't change, but the shape and location and purpose does. In some games, Death Mountain's a dungeon, and some games, Death Mountain is a place where the dungeon is. Some games, Death Mountain is an utterly friendly location. Looking specifically at Ocarina for that one.
So if you noticed, when he climbed that first ledge, it was really fast compared to the others. If you grind the corner as you climb up that ledge, it will fast climb it.
Yeah, he's trying to move quickly here because all these vents are on a cycle, and there's a cycle he's trying to make towards the bottom of the little ravine he's coming up towards. Saves about a second overall. Or if you prefer to think of it as an entire second. But this fight, you want to pick off the stragglers pretty quick. There's this one guy behind a wall, just guaranteed to ruin your day. And now you try to fool their AI into coming close, successfully bite/jump into them to death, and hope that you don't get slammed with a vent of steam on your way up. So he did end up having to wait out that steam.
Alright, this bug can be tricky sometimes if you target everything else.
Yeah, there's a lot of other random things to pick up here. However, with that final grape, you get to warp back and ignore all these angry, honking burbs. I think those are actually just like, that's not even a fantasy creature, that's just a Canadian goose.
Alright, time for some more rolling.
Yep, so we, again, just skipped probably, what, 3 to 4 minutes of cutscenes detailing what the plot was?
So now he's gonna roll back up to that mountain, or at least try, until he gets stopped by a Goron.
Yeah, this is Link's quest to get football tackled in the face. So he's trying to show the world that he's good at rolling, but these dudes are like, nah, I invented rolling. So you better leave, come back with Samus Aran maybe.
Okay,
also notice in this game they have rock nipples.
That is true. There's also a way you can skip being tackled if you do a backflip fast enough and do a quick spin, then you can walk off before he actually hits you.
Yeah, and that does save a little bit.
But now Link has realized that he needs to get fatter or get some iron boots.
Yeah, basically he just needs to get swole and learn how to wrestle.
Yep. Real wrestling.
So he's going to go to the training school, but first he will find his horse being attempted to be ridden by two green dudes, but they're not good enough at being cowboys. However, Link is pretty much Kid Rock, so he's just able to hop back on pretty simply.
Did my stream just buffer?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a lag spike too.
Okay. So we're on the same page. All right.
Yeah. Right now the mini game just started. But yeah, Link's trying desperately to hang on to his horse. Now in TPSD, the original GameCube version of Twilight Princess, there's a weird glitch at this part of the game with what you're doing, and you're in Wolf Link form during this section, and you get this crazy cutscene glitch that we have affectionately named Derp Wolf. Also, there's a nice Kappa reaction floating up the side of the stream. That's great. So we're jumping fences. We're riding towards the west.
You're hauling
Hey!
iron boots. Oh, damn! All right, there you go.
This is seriously the most hype mailman of all time. He's just super excited to be doing his job.
Yeah, it looks like Lulu Core.
So now that we're kind of in the light world field again, the world has been populated with all sorts of lovely creatures for us to basically run over and trample underneath our hooves. Does throwing the boomerang have a purpose, or does it just look cool?
Just for the swag.
Now, in 100%, it does have a purpose, because at this point you're trying to collect bugs, because bug collecting is an important part of Hundo.
Yes, it is.
Potentially the most important part behind, you know, like stamps and postals. Because, you know, my favorite things to collect are those things that are invisible. We gotta go home to a wrestling camp so we can learn all about kayfabe and the business.
Alright.
So one of the weirdest changes that they made between the standard version of this game and the HD version is something very terrible has happened to the horse controls. They were perfectly fluid and no problems at all in standard. But in HD, Epona handles like a truck. And not like a good truck either. I'm talking like a... I can't even name a bad truck.
Alright. Well, it's time for wrestling. This is the only hype about this whole run.
Yeah, now, wrestling in this game can be absolutely terribly RNG. So, you just gotta mash buttons and pray to the god. The god of
You can
RNG.
lose minutes to this.
And he accidentally said no.
Maybe it's RNG minutes.
Clearly it's RNG manips. Alright, so we're gonna... Basically, trying to sumo wrestle is the same as stopping a charging goat, but the most terrifying bit is this man's butt crack. Alright, so...
Alright, looking good. Oh.
Yeah, one bonk. We're already losing some time here. We get the successful slap off, and we're pushing, not gonna make it just yet. Going for another shove, and that's successful.
But sadly, that's not it.
He wasn't even trying yet. Now he's really gonna try. Alright, one bonk, one missed slap, and he's getting pushed back. One shove off. Ducks under and starts pushing again. Gets thrown off. Get side swipes, pushed back. He needs 2 more
Alright,
pushes to
gets
get
the
him off.
pin
Get
slap.
the good slap. 1 more and he's got it. But he misses, he gets pushed back. Shoves him off. Misses the slap, gets shoved. Gets
And he
slapped. Oh no, he's getting shoved back. They're dead center now. Ducks under the slap, gets the shove, needs 1 more shove and he's got it. Gets, the slap bonk. Ducks under and he's got it. There we go. So I would say that's what? Moderate RNG there?
That was straight up awful, I'd say.
I don't know. I've had much worse RNG than that before. I have had that entire process literally take like 6 minutes.
I've had it take no fails at all.
Like your hands at that point are just like, oh my god, because you have to mash the whole time.
Dude, my shoulder gets fucked up from that.
Alright, so we have learned that the secret to wrestling is that it is scripted and fake, and been given some sick boots, and now we're vibrating intensely.
Yep. Alright. Well, he keeps on vibrating as we stroll along the village.
It's RNG nips.
Alright, so now we gotta head all the way back to show off our iron boots to the guy that pushed us off the edge earlier.
But the real secret, Epona had iron boots all along. They were just horseshoes. It's kind of just what horses wear as shoes, you know? Seems to me like the process of putting on horseshoes would hurt the horse. But apparently, like, they don't have any feeling in that section of their hoof.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know, though. They might just say that to make me feel better about it.
Might be true.
Because I've had to help participate. Like, I grew up in a farming type area. I've had to participate in the castration
Have you ever
of
smelled a horse hoof?
calves. No, I've never smelt a horse hoof. They
No,
probably
you
don't
don't
smell
want to do that. That's the worst smell you'll ever smell.
But also,
Almost puked.
I think the worst part about that smell is the fact that you're pill bug.
Alright. I have no idea why he got that bug, but
And he stabs the horse as well. That's just
some RNG minutes. Anyway,
get some extreme RNG
you can-
minutes.
you can actually skip KB1 if you get across that gate without the horse, which requires you getting a bird from the sky to go across, and you have to hit him and then do the final blow on him and hope to get over, but it's
Probably very
really
inconsistent.
inconsistent. Yep.
That's not marathon strats. That's PBWR strats.
Yep. But yeah,
So
it
this
skips
is,
this entire fight.
This is King Bublin. He is a certified douche nozzle. And he just has your homie, like, tied up on a pole because he's a thug like that.
Yeah. Oh, it probably deserved it anyway. With that haircut.
Yeah, he's just trying to take a sick photo for his new pop rock album cover. Of which one song will be popular and the rest will be trash. That one song will have everybody like 30 years later going, oh, what was the name of that one song with that kid with the hair?
Alright, so
But now you're
We'll
jousting,
see.
essentially.
yeah, he turns around midway, and you'll see why in a second. You can get him off right away.
Yeah, one spin
Two
dash and
hits.
two spin dash, and he is gone. And I gotta hand it to King Bublin here because he just kind of doesn't die.
Yeah.
He survives a several 100-foot fall.
And there you saw Link attempt to take a selfie for a second, but he skipped it before he actually took the picture.
Well, no, that's like when you're trying to take a picture of something, but you open up the camera, but it's got the front-facing camera on first, and you weren't expecting to see yourself, and you're not ready, and you're like, ugh, that's me. Yeah. He wasn't ready. Alright, so we climb back up this netting with a somewhat messed up ladder that's tied into it. We shake the camera, manipulate the RNG, put on our swag boots.
Alright, this Goron's gonna be in for a surprise right now. And he didn't even know.
Get wrestled! Alright, so now we're going to just start rolling up Death Mountain here, throwing Gorons to the side wherever we may go and attempting to kind of dash into them.
He puts on iron boots and dashes into him, that way he does not fly back. And he also side hops before putting on iron boots because it equips him faster.
Doesn't play the little animation.
Yep.
Again, all these things save like frames, fractions of seconds, but in a 1.5 hour run, they add up very quickly. Like you might think,
what he was doing there.
Yeah, execution that would matter less in longer categories is actually the vast opposite. It matters a lot more. He's just kind of throwing rocks. He's having a good time.
Yeah, I think he was looking for hearts, because he probably doesn't want to take more damage from those Gorons, but there will be more.
And he also gets shot with a flaming arrow.
If your shield gets shot, you will lose your shield.
And
But on this game, it takes a little more than in other Zelda games.
So we've rolled into this steam vent twice now. And now it's just raining little fireballs. And then it's going to rain a really, really big fireball. And that would be important later if we were going to, you know, have a full run.
Alright, so he's waiting for the big rock to fall down.
It's also at this point when there's a route divergence between Goron Mines RTA and any percent. Because in any percent you would be skipping all of this.
Yes, instead of after you talk to the Goron that pushes you off the edge the first time, you'd actually not get iron boots yet. You'd go a completely different way.
You would fall off a cliff while drinking milk like a badass. You would clip into the terrain with Epona because she's secretly from Skyrim, meaning she disobeys laws of physics.
Yep.
You would defeat a boss you're intended to beat with a bow with bombs instead, like you're playing Link to the Past Rando. And then you would just go swim through some walls, fall through some walls. Like, walls barely exist in this game. I honestly don't know why they bothered putting them in. And now, in case you thought we were through with it, once we get to the top of this little hill, it's about time to wrestle.
Alright, so as you see, once he gets on this Goron, he will not go forward. He will go to the side here and grab the ledge, which skips the other Goron.
There's also some rupees there if you want them, but you know,
Yeah.
you're not going to need them at this point.
Alright. You will notice that he equips iron boots before he walks into this cutscene. It's that if you don't equip them, you will try wrestling the Goron over here.
And you'll instead get rectaling.
Yeah, and then you have to go through a bunch of text boxes again. If you already have the iron boots equipped,
Now,
getting into it in the first place, then you're good.
Now, all these characters have proper names, but you never see them because we don't let the cutscenes play. So instead, this guy's name shall be King Saggy Rock Moobs.
Yep. Alright. This guy, you only have to fight once, but...
He's good at wrestling, so...
Yeah, he's actually good at wrestling.
Alright, so
But...
we get the dodge, we get the slap, we get one shove. Do we get two shove? No, we get the sidestep, get pushed back, shove off, miss the slap, get shoved. Now we're in negative territory. Dodging around, one good slap, then the shove, shoved off. Another slap misses, gets shoved back, no net gain. duck under, get the shove. We are one good A cycle. Actually, probably two good A cycles. Get pushed back, though. There's the slap. The slap misses. Get pushed back. And a
This
bonk.
is not real wrestling.
Real wrestling has Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock.
Oh,
All right, there's a good slap. He might have it. No, he needs one more. One more good one, but he's not going to get it. Now he's in dangerous territory. Slap is bonked. The grab is sidestep. That might be it. Needs one more. There's a bonk. It's a missed slap. He's going to get pushed back to the center. And another bonk. And he ducks under. He shoves. And one more is all he needs. And he gets it with the bonk. Dusting off his hands like it ain't no thing. Man, this guy with the purple on his belly is hot. He ain't lying.
Look at his nips, though.
Yeah, I wasn't looking. It's like, oh, he does have purple on his belly. I was not aware of that.
Alright, we now enter Goron Mine.
The real question is, do you think their nipples are actually rock, or do they, like, put rocks there?
They probably, like, take melted rock.
Like, who was it? Was it, during the Super Bowl all those years ago? Janet Jackson? Like, she was singing with Justin Timberlake, and he, like, ripped her shirt off or whatever, and she had, like, a little piece of jewelry there. And then there was a big outrage about it. So,
I have no clue. But he did fail the long jump attack there. And if you noticed, he was taking damage on the flames. That way, the barrier from taking damage for like half a second allows you to walk through it without getting knocked back.
alright, get hit, then walk through. Doesn't avoid having to step on some switches. Do it again, my man.
Alright, you
rolls
got
through.
it.
He needs the LJA. I think you're a little bit ahead of me. Boomerang is thrown, and as it's in the void, he gets a nice little jump. Now, lava does not count as a void, as far as I'm aware, right?
Nope.
It
Does
counts
not.
as lava.
He threw the boomerang inside to the wall there, which it goes out of bounds somewhere in there, or inside an object.
All right, so you've just got him going in the door now, right?
Yeah, he just did some parkour jumping off the edge. He just opened the chest.
Okay, yeah, we're on the right schedule now. He's got a key, small key, open a locked door, but only in this area. 2004, my God, that was 13 years ago that happened now. I remember I was pretty young at the time, and like I was like, is that a booby on TV? Boy, if I had only known what TV was going to be like now. There's lots of boobies on TV now. You see, we would have been banned from GDQ by like 12 times by now. Alright, so we got angry lizards. They breathe fire. We just kind of dodge right by them. Except this guy. We really don't like him, so we're going to kill him. Now,
so
ordinarily what you do, you pull this thing back and then you go around, but nah, we're just going to roll into the corner until we...
Or bonk.
Yeah, or bonk into the corner and try this again. I must not have been watching the right channels in 2004 then. Okay, he's got it this time. He's already in there. We in there.
So yeah, you just have to keep rolling forward as that thing pushes you, and you just flip right through.
Water in my fire dungeon? It's more likely than you think.
Alright.
So we've activated magnets, and now surprisingly our ankles aren't broken. Now we have some very short dudes who've apparently been living in here this whole time, and they're probably hungry, but it's good because this guy is literally smoking.
I'm pretty sure that shard is required to get, but you actually only need the last shard in order to open the boss door, I think. Or is that something else? No?
Jump around the switch a couple times.
Alright, so sometimes it can get really tricky here and you'll the wrong way if your name is Lulu, of course.
Oh, the call out. Do we have the grudge match? I would love for there to be more TPHD races, but the game is just so long, it's got to be Goron Mines RTA. Can you imagine TPHD rando?
Oh.
Like a proper rando? I know we've got that, I forget what they called it. Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet. It looks fun. I want to.
I don't know. I don't think any game does rando as well as Link to the Past does, just because it works almost on accident. Like, you just randomly need certain items in other dungeons. Lulu firing back says he still has the better time, though.
Yeah, but I only ran the category 5 times. Like, alright.
No. I hear a match that needs to happen.
Ooh. Alright. Alright, so if you're cool enough, you can roll onto him and damage him with iron beats.
He's got the Iron Tims. Again, more water in my fire dungeon.
Alright. So for some reason there's a small key under the water in a very nice chest.
A very nice chest.
Seems like a waste, but it's what it is.
You'd be surprised that it didn't rust by now, or at least like get some algae or something on it.
Yeah. Maybe they just put it there. Don't know.
You ever hear the legend of like the Fountain of Youth?
Yeah.
And how it was supposedly in the Bahamas or something?
Really?
You know they actually, that was actually a catastrophe. It's not quite a disaster. It's not quite going on the disaster board, but that was not good. I don't know if we're gonna have anything that chalks up to that 43-minute reset.
Wait, how much time was that? 43 minutes?
Yeah, 43 minutes. Sometimes it's just not your day. But yeah, they have a probable location for the Fountain of Youth, because they think what happened was there was some bad translation, because what it was originally supposed to be was just a fountain of better than average water that makes you feel different. And they did find that in the place where it was supposed to be, and it's just kind of in this little mangrove cluster. But the way it works is like the ocean washes in, but like can't get back out, and the water gets a lot colder there, and it picks up a bunch of minerals on the way. So it's basically just like the really fancy bottled water that you see in stores. It's about the same quality as that. It's good for you. It's not gonna make you live forever, but it'll make you like moderately healthier than if you were just drinking normal water.
Really?
It's just people back in the oldie days, and I mean even now, love to blow stuff up way bigger than it should be.
Alright, time for another fight.
And he's supposed to do this blindfolded. I don't know if he remembered.
He's supposed to do this blindfolded.
Yeah, that was a donation incentive. Honestly, this is one of the worst fights to have to do blindfolded, as it involves seeing what you're doing. Oh, wait, no, not this one. He's got to do fires blindfolded.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, this is the Bowser fight. You can't tell me that's not what it is.
Yeah, this is Bowser.
So long, Bowser. This dude has some serious belly flub. They got the belly flub on point in this game.
If you noticed when he first got in the room, he jumped down and boomeranged them. If he was able to do that fast enough, he would have been able to quick spin him right away, but he didn't get it, which saves quite a bit of time.
Alright, so the lava brings the dangling thingy back up. The crooked iron bars open, and this guy has a bit of a baby face underneath his helmet. And he's got a silly onion hairdo that would probably look a little bit better if he brushed it, but I don't know if you can brush like rock hair. I don't know, he needs to just go talk to Colin. Colin's got the hair. He can explain.
Colin knows what's up.
Yeah.
They could make a band.
Yeah, Colin's like that dude who's like, yeah, she's like, yo, what kind of hair gel you use? It's like, actually, it's hair fiber. And this is the bow. This is an item you don't get in any percent, despite the fact that it's pretty core to Zelda games. It's not core at all here. You
So that was a new strat I've seen right there. Usually you'd shoot it down with the bow, but he just did a long jump right through it, which I've never seen, so that's pretty cool.
Little optimizations make for big improvements.
Yeah.
So now we're going to see another one of these here 420 elders.
So this is actually the only required key, or a part of the key. So if you get the last one, you get the whole thing.
Yeah, that guy also has some serious tattoos. Like, these Goron elders in this dungeon really know how to party. They got the drinking, the smoking, the tattoos. And now he's got to come back through and actually shoot the thing down.
Huh.
Not sure if that was an optimization or just him showing off.
I think it was just him showing off now. Alright, so sadly you can't roll past him if I'll talk to him. Or you can do that. Roll past him.
Go all the way around. All the way around.
Alright, now time for some hardcore.
Hardcore parkour. We'll start it off with attempting to disobey the laws of physics. With the unnecessary jump as well.
No, I mean it's time for parkour. I said the wrong room.
Now first, some sick no-scopes. Because you can't have a scope on a bow. Except you can in this game. You actually can.
Alright, some new optimizations I haven't seen before either.
He's trying to get something lined up perfectly.
Yeah, this is kind of precise.
And that's a swing and a miss.
Yep.
Taken down from the word go. Honestly, I don't think any game will have a better in-game announcer than Pokemon Stadium did. He's getting sick of this guy.
That guy can't shoot for shit though.
Boom, headshot.
Oh, okay.
Didn't quite end up.
Alright,
on
well
top.
now he's gonna do an alternate strat, which requires you to do some very hardcore parkour, but the strat's a little easier, but you have to climb a lot of stuff.
And occasionally shoot boys in the face.
Yep.
So rather than activate the switch, he would prefer to do anything else. And fall into the water.
Alright. Alright, it's going back to the other strat. There's something tricky about this one.
Alright, he's ended up on top. So he's got to get the position, but from there he can do it.
Oh.
So I'm assuming you have like an entire frame where that thing is like outside of collision.
I think I'm actually not so good with this trick myself, so I just kind of YOLO it and hope I get it.
It's hurting my soul, I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, go for the parkour strat.
He goes back for the parkour strat. It's hardcore, it's parkour. It's hardcore parkour. It's every day, bro. What's this new song meme that's got all the screaming in it?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think.
Yeah. My neighbor knows about it. He's the first one who showed me like an example of it. But yeah, there's a song that has this incredibly high-pitched shrilling in it, and that's another failure. What are we at now? 6? This just happens sometimes, especially Zelda runs. These are not easy tricks at all. And it's not like you're on a 2D plane. You've got like 360 degrees of failure to have to work with. And some of this stuff still has to be pixel perfect and frame perfect. And you're working with a lot more pixels and a lot more frames than A Link to the Past.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. I don't know if this happens to everyone. I think he's just making Blue feel better about himself not getting bopped again, but...
Well, you see, the thing is, though, no matter what Tylox's time is, he still beats Blue because at least his, you know, charger worked.
hit the switch just for safety.
Nah, we don't got safety here. Oh, we should have had safety.
Oh boy.
It wasn't safe. Alright, well, we're busting estimate all to hell, but it doesn't matter. We got a 2-hour block. We're going to take all of it. Our next run's not till 11, and that run will be yours truly. Playing a hit the switch, my boy. Happy face. Unhappy parkour. Scraw. He's tilting now.
He does the optimization, or he does this parkour strats a little different than I do. I think this way is a little slower because he does some extra jumps.
Gotta re-equip the item, hit the switch.
There you go, and he can still try for the jump.
He can go, nah, he's done. It's okay. Lose 6 minutes to save 6 seconds. That's how speedrunning is sometimes. Re-equip the necessary items.
Alright. So... Is this the upcoming fight where he has to do blindfolded?
Yes. Although, I'm not going to hold him to that if he doesn't want to at this point. Blindfolder right. There you go. That's the attitude we need. Yeah, he paid for that shit. Alright, so blindfolded Virus. A boss you had to fight with a bow. Doing that blindfolded
I think he's practiced a little bit. Oh yeah, he's getting there.
Okay, he's getting close. Now he's just panicking and taking damage.
Oh, so close.
So he knows he has to roll out of the way, and he's down.
It's all right.
I believe. Now this should restart him at the boss fight, yeah?
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah,
Close
pretty much in there.
Pretty much in there.
All right.
Oh.
He was a little high. He's peppering this dude with arrows.
Pepper.
Oh, he got a hit. He got a hit.
He got a hit. Oh, he didn't hear it. Oh.
No, he heard it. He heard it.
All right, now he needs to find the shit. Oh.
Yeah, he's going the wrong way. He's getting closer. Getting closer. To the right. To the right. To the right. You got this. You got this. He's got it. He picked it up. He picked it up. And he's got the boots on.
Oh, I don't know if that matters. Yeah, it does. Yeah, he stopped walking.
Oh, no, he's been smacked. Now he knows it's back to the bow. He's also a little concerned that he might need arrows, maybe.
Oh, God, he's doing Super Saiyan.
There's not a lot you can do about that. You just got to hit him before then, right?
Yeah,
nowhere close.
He can go just far enough away.
Nope. Left.
I'll be honest, I think the other boss would have been easier blindfolded.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Ukless, though.
Not Ukless is free blindfolded. It's easier that way.
Probably, actually. I'm not even joking. Because your mind will play tricks on you. I think he might be able to kind of see it through, like, the blindfold. He's close. He's so close. Oh, left! Nope. He's low. He knows he needs to find some more HP. But he's running out. He doesn't really have any more pots. There's like one left. He's about to get stomped on. Oh, he gets punched out. Ouch.
It's alright.
Don't worry, it's K. It is absolutely K.
Let's say he has to try it 5 times. Like, die 5 times, then it's all good.
No, this ain't going on. This was... If you told somebody to do something blindfolded and did not expect a disaster... This doesn't go on the disaster board at all. 69 tries. Easy. It's so easy, it's like Yeezys. Oh, the headshot right off. Is he blindfolded or not? This is kind of precise. I'm beginning to think he might be able to see this time.
Let's see if he can get that.
Right. Wow, he's doing really good blindfolded this time, guys.
Maybe he bonked. I think we're good. He's blind.
Oh yeah, he bonked. Yeah, he's guaranteed blind right now.
He just bonked on purpose. He noticed.
Oh, he's missing. He's missing. He's all over. Oh no, he's getting hit. Oh, he got the hit though. He turned on Super Saiyan mode.
We're just gonna say this is blindfolded. He missed once.
Yeah, he missed and he bonked. Like, this is clearly blindfolded. And down he goes. Just needs to take off the boots. Take off your Timbs, man. You can't just tell a man to take off his Timbs. She said, babe, take off your jacket. Like, man's
Dude,
not hot.
That must have been a lot of practice to get this blindfolded.
This guy needs to take off his jacket. Like, he's burning out of existence. You can see through the guy. Alright, and going in for the kill. Wait, no, don't pull him. Yeah, there we go. There's
okay, you can do that, I guess.
Yeah, that works. Is that time?
Yeah. Oh no 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 not yet.
Okay.
Once he fades away in the portal, that's the time. So
How
once
do
you
I
see,
untime? Shit.
oh,
Whoops. Oh wait, no, I figured it out. It was 8.
all right. Once he disappears, like once he's gone after going in the portal, that's me time.
Good rub. It's actually a really good rub, yeah. It's not often you get a good rub like that.
Yeah.
And it turns out that this guy was actually Brock from Pokemon.
Hey, oh, he forgot the heart piece.
Oh, do you gotta get the heart piece?
Okay,
Run invalid.
Time.
1:38:01.
Plus some time that you paused.
We'll just say that's blindfold time. We'll give him a bonus. But yeah, that was Twilight Princess HD, Goron Mines RTA.
Yes, that was a good run.
Clearly blindfolded the whole run, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was blindfolded the whole run. Took off the blindfold during Fyrus.
Oh yeah, you could tell definitely he was blindfolded during some of those parts. Yeah, if you guys like what you saw, just stick around the Twilight Princess community. They've consolidated all into one single Discord now, so HD, SD, and we are all on the same.
Look at that heroic trash.
So from there, we are going to have a bit of a break. Got 20 minutes before our next run, which is moi. And I'll likely get some water, get up, stretch, make sure the deep vein thrombosis does not strike.
Oh.
We'll see.
Sadly, I will not be able to make that run.
That's fine. You can leave it on in the background and hear the sweet lullabies of the casual list of speedruns. It's more of a 3.5-hour Let's Play, honestly.
Alright.
Anyways, I will see you guys shortly. Thank you so much for watching Trashathon 2017. We will be right back in about 20 minutes. And shout outs to Tylox for the great Goron Mines RTA run and being a good sport with the blindfold. Check him out right there, twitch.tv/TyloxsSR. Deku Nuts also, he's a dope person. I was going to say a dope fiend, but that means you're just on drugs all the time, which might also be accurate, but I don't want to just call a dude out like that, so we're going to move past that one.
Alright, thanks for the shout out.
Alright, we will catch you guys very shortly. Oh, and it's gone. This is such a good picture of Link with the laser eyes.
But yeah, dude, thanks for holding the marathon. Cool.
Anytime, and by anytime, I mean next time I get a break. So, see you guys soon.
Good luck on your run.
Thanks.